So 43 is placed between 40 and 50. 43 is below 5, right? It's below 45. So we round it down to 30. Okay, so 43 is equals to 40. Now we have 68. 68 is placed between 60 and 70. 68 is placed between 60 and 70, right? So when you place 68 here, are we rounding it up or we're rounding it down? 68 is above 5, right? It's above 65. So we're rounding it up. So 68 is 70. Do you understand that? Remember the rule. If the number is below 5, you round it down to the nearest term. And if the number is at 5 or above 5, you round it up to the next 10. So 68 is above 5, right? Let's say here it's 65. So it's above 5. 68 is somewhere here. So we round it up to 70. Okay. The next number we have 54. 54 is placed between 50 and 60. And 54 is before 55. Let's say 55 is here. 54 is here. So we round it down to 50. Okay. Not 40. Here should be 50. We round it down to 50. Do you understand? So let's say we have another number. We have here 55. Okay, we have 55. 55 is placed between 50 and 60, right? So between 50 and 60, 55 should be here. So 55 should be rounded down or we should round it up. You remember the rule, right? If it's below 5, the 5 mark is rounding down, but if it's on 5 mark or above 5 mark, you round it up. So this is 55 and 55 is on the mark. So 55 will be rounded up to 60. I hope you're not confused. Let's say we also have 46. If we want to round up 46 to the nearest term, 46 is between 40 and 50, right? Here is 45. So 46 is after 45. So 46 is here. So we are going to be rounding it up to 50. Okay? Do you understand that? Good. Now let's look at rounding up to 100. So we have the digits here: 689, 442, 267, and 719. We have our number line here. This is in 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. So let's start with the first digits we have. 689. 689 should be placed where? Between 600 and 700. Right? So now we look at the tens digits. Here we have 89, right? So 689 should be placed here because it's above 5. It's above 650, right? Let's say the middle here is 650, which is the 5 mark. So it's above the 5 mark, so it should be here. So 689 is rounded up to 700, okay? Do you understand that? Now we have 642. Let's round it up to the nearest 100. 642 is still placed between 600 and 700. And 642 is before the 5 mark, right? It's below the 5 mark. So it's placed here. So when rounding up 642, it's going to be 600. So 642 is equals to 600, okay? The next number, 267. 267 is placed between 200 and 300. And it should be placed after the 5 mark, right? Because it's more than the 5 mark, which is 250. So 267 is placed here. So we round it up to the nearest 100, which is 300. Okay. Then the last digit, 719. 719 should be placed here. So we increase our number line. After 700 is 800, so 719 should be placed here before the mark, right? Because it's lower than the 5 mark, which is 750. So it should be placed here. So 719 will be rounded off to the nearest 100, which is 700. It will be rounded down, okay? Do you understand? So we understood today's lesson, right? We looked at place value of numbers up to 1000, comparing and ordering numbers, and lastly, we looked at rounding numbers to the nearest 10 or 100. So we understood everything we talked about on today's lesson. Okay, good. So next we're going to be looking at our assignment. I'm sure we're going to be able to do our assignment. It's easy. Okay, that is good.